Hi, what's up guys? Hi guys, so today I talk about towering build for warrior DPS, and I will not go through the skill again. If you need to know what is the skill is, go look it up on my last video, warrior 1000 trial build. This time I talk about what have been changed from thousand trial build to towering Glyph build, and I talk about Astral Blessing first. So this is our main select this path, and when you select Lock in Heaven, this blessing, our 1000 trial will go on cooldown. So in towering build, 1000 trial we don't use it for damage, we use it to regen our vitality. And this towering Glyph just lets our towering Glyph not go on cooldown, and it's also the same. So when you use it, and later I will talk about it. So when you use it, you will still go on cooldown, and you will use your living rock. And then our class resource, you will turn black. This one, we need to light it up, so we need to charge these 2 stone. And I think last video I forgot to talk about this Shimmering Jade. Is that when you use this skill with the Shimmering jet power, jet breaking power, this will only regen the first 3 stone. 1, 2, 3. These 2 you need to use your soul tempering to regen, and then you will regen the next, this 1, 2, 3. So for Shimmering Jade, you only regen the first 3 but not the bottom 2. So as you practice, you will know more about it. And then the other one is I talk about, oh yeah, that is in Grave. Later then I say it's on Grave there. So the next one is Moist on the Old Rock. This is like change our Dragon Strike into poison. There's 2 different type of poison. Green poison, but the damage is not high. When you use the Towering Glyph, the poison will upgrade. This is a level 2, or so I call it rank 2 poison, Glyph Moist, Jade Moist to Glyph Moist. And whenever you use your Towering Glyph, when the target have Glyph Moist, it will increase the damage of your Towering Glyph. So when you hit the target without the Glyph Moist, the damage is not high. So yeah. So what this means is your Towering Glyph increase damage by 35 if you have at least 2 stone. So let's try. When you have 2 stone, you increase the damage, but when you have 1 stone, you will not get increased damage. You will not increase by 35 if you have only 1 stone when your blade is light up. And this one is damage for Towering Glyph increase. This is a buff for Towering Glyph. So we don't really rely on Mountain Retreat. And I can show you, you can add this to your rotation, but the second hit, like this one, the Return to the World, you don't really need to use it. And why we use Mountain Retreat? Because also the Smash Golden Shell and a bit damage. So this animation, the jump back, this animation can cancel by Towering Glyph. So if you press fast enough, it's like this. It's like it doesn't even do any animation. So I will use it again. This time I'll go slow. when it jump out, I press Towering Glyph. It just depends on how fast you can press it. Oh, and the other one is Soul Tempering. I think last video I forgot to mention this is when you press one Soul Tempering, this is one damage hit. 75. So when you hit 2 times, the second hit is a double damage. So for the 1000 trial, we don't really use double hit. If you saw me in my training dummy for 1000 trial, why I use Soul Tempering 2 times is because of legacy. I press 1 time, but sometimes the connection has some problem with it. So I always spend it 2 times, but the main problem is I want to use it 1 time. So for Towering Glyph, the most of the time we will just use it 2 times because we need to regen our stone. And then yep, and this one, our main damage. This is our formation. Like I say in the other video, is when you use your formation and you run out, you will not get the buff, but you can stand in the edge, you still get the buff. And if the boss run away, you have to follow. You can reposition 1 time. So this buff have to be careful where and how you put it, and you only have 1 reposition of it. And what it does is when you are in this formation, every 2 seconds it regen 1 stone. So for the rotation, later I will show you. It's like when you have this formation out, you can keep spamming 1000. It's the Towering Glyph. And in the formation, try to get more than 2 stone or exactly 2 stone. If you have exactly 2 stone, you will get 35% increased damage. But most of the time with the formation out, you always can get 2 stone or more than 2 stone. So I have to practice on it too. And I think this is the change for the skill. Yep, okay. So for the Glyph, this is our main, is a must-have for Towering Glyph. No retreat with Towering Glyph damage. Reduce drain for doppelganger during stone spirit increased by 10%. This means that when we are using our Towering Glyph, we have a DR. And if the last damage, because when you use a Towering Glyph, it's a 5 hit. So it's a 5 hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is not registered. It's not registered, so and the last hit of it, oh yeah, here total is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one, the fifth hit is when you land, when you come down. 1, 2, 3. This is your last hit when you slash down. So when you slash down and you cancel your Towering Glyph, it will regen you back 3 stone back. So how to let it regen is by using lightning. When you use lightning, why this you have to practice, why we must know this is, for example, the boss doing some boss mech and you have to get out of the boss very fast, and when the boss do it but you are already in the air, use lightning to cancel it, run away. So this is so useful in some of the boss fight. And the rest is the same. Like these two, you generate this a must get. This is also must get, because this reduce our cooldown for widespread. For me, I just like to use it. You can don't need it, but your rotation have to be a bit changed. This two is PvP one. So for this, if for me, I'm lazy. I don't like to change Glyph from here and there. So if you want to change this Glyph when your teammate, like your in the dungeon run, your team have no Fox Mage, you can change to get this. This is just a CC break that increase damage, but I don't think it's useful. That's why I don't bother of switching it. So I just get this. I want to add in for the Towering Glyph and the Widespread Melting. So Towering Glyph, you can use the Widespread Melting to cancel the animation of Towering Glyph, and the damage will still register, just that you can't do anything. So you basically just stand there for like few seconds. You can't even use your left and right mouse button. I will show you. Like you can't do anything. But your Towering Glyph have 5 hit, and it registers 5 hit. So for me, I will recommend that you use this. Always try to use Widespread Melting and then Towering Glyph. Or the other way is when your Towering Glyph, the last hit, where it register the last hit of the damage, use the Widespread Melting. Like in my video, like just now I show you, most of the time I do that. So for this one, it's like use your Widespread Melting and then Towering Glyph. Or the other one is Towering Glyph when it come down, and then you use Widespread Melting. So I have to wait for the cooldown. So the next one is the last hit, the 5th hit of Towering Glyph. Use your Widespread Melting like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. When it slam down, as you can see, when I just slam down, I will straight away use Widespread Melting. This way is what I'm used for. I'm used to it. So if you look out at my training dummy for Towering Glyph 5-minute video, you'll find that I always use Towering Glyph, and then it slam down, the last hit register, I will use the Widespread Melting. And I will for now, if you practice the rotation, don't follow mine. You can use the Widespread Melting first and then Towering Glyph. So mine is not, everyone rotation is different because of our haste. Right now I'm using the combination tooth. If you don't use combination tooth, like 165 gear, you have to depend on how much haste you have. Like myself, I have a lot of haste because I keep getting haste gear. Like all this is haste. So when you get more haste gear, your rotation will different than those that is on low haste. So it's really depend on your haste, like how fast your skill cooldown go. And yeah, I think this basically all the skill is. So I will show the rotation. So in the beginning is we change our blessing to this first, Soulforce fusion, and then we use Shimmering Jade, and I will tell you why. So you wait for the cooldown. Like you can use this when your team is using the countdown. So when the time is around 3, press this and then use your purple Glyph up. So I wait until like 4 seconds. So when you press this again, only can press 1 time. Remember, press 1 time, you can go test it out yourself. So when you change blessing, when you press 1 time, the cooldown will not double up. like because this is like what 40 plus cooldown. Let me see again. The cooldown time is 45. So just remember, don't press double press. If you double press, the cooldown will go back to the shimmering jade. So this way is to click the we have a fast regen on the shimmering jade, and this is the opening. If you find that this is so much words, or because the DPS or tank they always start the fight without you letting you change the blessing, then don't bother doing it this way. But when you practice, you can practice it. So get to the target. I put poison first, up poison, and then purple Glyph. And I forgot to say, purple Glyph can also upgrade your poison. So after this, I use the jump back, and then 1000, sorry, I keep saying the wrong name. And then the towering Glyph, come down, use one soul tempering, use your formation, and I use 1000 trowel, and then towering Glyph. And I always use more than 2 stone. After this, I can use the spread, white spread. So it's getting finished. The debuff, the poison debuff. So have to read out the poison. And when you read out poison, it costs you 1 stone. And for the purple Glyph, it's always you have to spend it before you can even use the normal towering Glyph. That is the most annoying one. So if you can practice fast enough, you don't want to waste, when your stone is full, you don't want to have a purple Glyph there. That is like some of the mistake that I made. Then you can keep using up, but on the way you still have to regen your vitality. So I always get close to 35 before I use towering Glyph. And this one I should have saved my soul tempering. Like this is wasted. And this like one last second. Then this will be the first rotation. These two I didn't set it up. So for normal, like in the opening, and then this formation, inside this formation, you can do around 10 to 11 towering Glyph. The purple Glyph is also added inside, so it's around 10 or 11, and you're fine. We can get more, but we have to have a better gear on it. So I always spend it and then use the towering Glyph. This will regen slowly. And then I can go again. It's like this mountain retreat. When I remember, I will use it, because I should put this cooldown up around here so that I can see the cooldown time, but it's too far down. I haven't changed it up. Last time is right on this 2 is right under here. Just that now I haven't changed it. Like you can put the mountain retreat and the rush to somewhere where you can see the cooldown time. And then the whole rotation will be the same. Like out poison, and then use your 1000 trial to regen your vitality, and then spend soul temporary to get out of black blade. And then the other one is whenever your towering Glyph is at 1 or 2, you can use it, but your vitality must be around 35 or 75. And always have to read out the poison, so this poison you have to monitor yourself. And the other one is when you use the poison, this cooldown time is different. It will reset the cooldown time when it changes into the purple moist, or so I call it pink color moist, like it's going out. And then you use this, will reset, the time will reset. And the other thing is when you put this, like when you're in dungeon, you're fighting mob, and the first target you put stone moist, you can spread the poison when you use your sharp blade, jet style sharp blade. This poison will spread to other enemy, and then you use your thousanding Glyph. All these enemy, their poison will outgrip into the Glyph moist, so you increase the damage against other. And the other one is damn it, like you see my connection sucks. Be right back. Yeah, and then now it's fine. I was thinking to disconnect, but it's not stable, so I have to DC and then come back again. So I'm back after the 999 ping packet. The connection sucks, man. So I will get on with it. Like, oh yeah, before this, just now I show you guys is the formation, in the duration of the formation, how you fight, and the opening, how you fight. Like for this one, so when you're going to press this, I will show you. When you press one time, the cooldown time will change. But if you press it another time, the cooldown will go back. As you can see just now, the time is different. And that's why I say press one time on Rock in Heaven. You don't really need to do it this way, just that it reduces the cooldown of your Shimmering Jade. So, and I know that in dungeon and boss fight, sometimes the tank start the fight, or even the DPS start the boss fight without using the countdown or ready chat. So it's really depend on the group. If not, you don't want to get this build, you will lose too much damage. So only do this when you are practicing on the training dummy, so that you know how much towering Glyph you can do in the duration of the formation. So when it's getting close, press one time as you key, and you can just in time. This is just in time. You can use it up. And I will get on with the rotation. So like just now where we stop is here. So right the last second you can still use it. And then this rotation will go on. So how you keep your resource is by getting your stone and your vitality, maintain your resource, and then later I will tell you your Shimmering Jade. Don't keep spamming your Shimmering Jade. And the other thing is, when you have 3 stone, you can your vitality can be at must have 35. So when you use your soul tempering, you will straight away get out of black blade and go into Living Rock. When you have one, you need around 70. Sometimes it really depends on your luck. Or if you want to calculate every second that it regen, how many seconds that it regen the stone, that's too much for me. So I always look at the time, look at the stone when I cast the skill. And for Mountain Retreat, whenever the cooldown is up, you can just use it with your Towering Glyph. When you have nothing here, when you have no stone, you need more than 75, like you see. This is the mistake that I made. And when the next formation is up again, and then straight away use your formation, and then go for the rotation. The whole rotation will be the same again. This thing will go on like for 5 minutes. If you can maintain your damage, that will be so much better. So in the duration of formation, if you can get 10 or 11 or even 12 Towering Glyph, that means you have really practiced a lot. So that is the exact, how do I say it? That is the correct. Somehow this is not up. So when you have the formation, the amount of Towering Glyph you do is look at this, the skill tree, skill use, and then go in. It will tell you how many times you did in the duration of formation. My house is a bit noisy, so okay. So, and like just now what I say is, whenever you use your Towering Glyph, you must have more than 2 stone. More than 2 stone, you just need to use 1 soul tempering. If you have 1 stone, you need 75 vitality to use 2 soul tempering. If you have no stone, when you have no stone, you have to regen at least 1 vitality, and then level up your vitality again to 75, and then use your Towering Glyph. But by that time, I think it will give you already regen 1 stone. So for the stone, just remember you have to practice to learn how to see the stone. 2 stone, 35 vitality, 1 soul tempering, you can get out of Black Blade. 2 or 3 stone, 2 or 3 stone, you just need 1 vitality, not 1, 35 vitality, 1 soul tempering to get out Black Blade to get into Living Rock. If you have 1 stone, when you use your Towering Glyph, you need 75 vitality, 2 soul tempering to get out of Black Blade. If you have no stone at all, try to regen 1. Like if you have 35, use that and then regen your vitality to 75. But if on its way, when you regen your vitality by using left click, you have the second stone, because we have this Glyph that will regen you every 10 seconds. So if you have the second stone is out and you are like regenting your vitality, you can, and you have 35, you can use Towering Glyph and then use 1 soul tempering to get out of the Black Blade. And this is the thing that you have to remember. And then whenever 1000 trial is ready and your vitality is around 35 or lower, it's as long as it's lower than like 50%, 35 or 0, you can use Thousand Trial and then Towering Glyph. Tower Trial regen 30 Vitality point. So you just time it well. And this is basically it. I know that the rotation that I say is for new player is very confusing, but all I can say is try to watch the training dummy video that I do and learn from the rotation by put the video on slow motion. If not, you can't really see what I press. And this tool is like, this animation is so easy to see. Like when I using my left and right, this skill will not light up. And yeah. And the other thing is if you want me to put up a picture icon rotation, that I need time to do that. So this few days I don't really have much time because I've been streaming and making video until very late. So it's really take time to make all that. And now I will talk about the gear state. So the gear, I also have test different haze, but I find that 10% haze is still much better, because what this here say that the regen 1 point of stone Soulforce every 10 seconds is affected by haze. Maybe I like more haze, but you can get 10% for towering Glyph build. You can get haze 10% or 15%. It's really depend. I don't think you really need to get to 20%. It's not like Thousand Trial build. So I use the same gear that I use for Thousand Trial, and when I do the damage, I will show you the end of it. So this one. So it's like 1.73, 1.72. I think when I memorize the Thousand Trial will be 1.8 something. So Thousand Trial still do more damage than Towering Glyph. It's just that Towering Glyph is not much. How do I say? Towering Glyph, the rotation is much easier than Towering Trial. Oh, sorry, Thousand Trial. Shit, I keep saying the wrong thing. And Thousand Trial, the DPS is really tight because everything is count by second. And for Towering Glyph is like when you put the poison on the target is 20 seconds. It's not like when you are using the Stone Moist, is like Stone Moist and Jet Moist 8 seconds. This is 20 seconds, so you have more time. And there's 3 things that you need to monitor is the poison, the Glyph Moist, your stone resource, and your vitality. These 3 things that you need to monitor. And it's not like Thousand Trial you need to like look a lot of cooldown, and you have to see the poison, see the poison time, see your Thousand Trial time, and see your vitality. There's a lot of shit going on. So for new player, if you really can't get the whole of Thousand Trial, try out Towering Glyph build. And yeah, so for this, it's exactly the same as the what I show in Thousand Trial there. So this few days I've been thinking, should we focus on one or level these 2? I think right now it's best that we level 2. So balance it up. Under collection. So balance it up. Because I'm not really sure if we want to focus on frame rate, because I'm not sure the damage is really better than this or not. we need more player to test it out. So if anyone know which one is better, can comment down below so that everyone can know which one to choose. And yeah, and why I always choose the accessory like necklace, amulet, and ring go for haste, because your gear from head to shoe, all these give you more state. So more state will give you more damage compared to this side. So I rather use accessory to get haste than waste my damage for haste on this side. And your 3 relic, this 3 relic, I don't really go for haste at all. And for in the future, maybe my weapon will change to haste if I need to get haste to 20% or even 40%. But right now, mastery is so much better. And why I say get haste, because precision, when we have around 35 or 40, we can get 5 stack of weapon that increase 10% of our precision. So plus the more gear we get, you will get more precision. So we really don't need to put a lot of point into precision anymore, so we can get more haste. Yeah, but that all will be in future, so I will make more guide on it. And I will like in the 1000 trial, I forgot to say that I share this gear loadout. How to import it is I already put the file at Google Sheet there, so you just need to download the file, copy paste to this folder, right click this, right click the gear loadout management, and then open folder containing gear loadout, copy and paste the file that you download, and then export the gear loadout to file. Oh sorry, it's not export, it's import. So you come here, you can choose the one that you import to import it to here, and then you can just import it like this. You change the state. Or if you want to make your own combination tool, go ahead, because I will not say that mine is the best. I will not say that. Just that I'm used to having this type of state. And all this I learned it myself. So for the Chinese forum there, it's so hard to find all these which state that is recommend and what is the rotation. All that is so hard to find. For rotation, I learned it by just looking at the video at the Bilibili there, and I just put on slow motion so that I know what is the skill that need to be used, and that's how I learn the skill. If you ask me why must we use the skill like this, I can't say anything, because I learned it from the Chinese player. They put it up on the Bilibili. They don't write guide anymore. There's only video, and the video mostly is not teach people how to DPS. They are like mostly are just fighting trainee dummy, and I just look at the trainee dummy video and I just learn from there. So sometimes my rotation will be like a bit off or something, but that's how I fight the rotation. And if you ask the Chinese player, they will tell you there's no correct rotation. Everyone rotation is different. You don't need to follow my rotation at all, because I'm used to it. Like for example, the Towering Glyph, the last hit, after the last hits have register, I will use widespread melting, because this is what I'm used to. But I will recommend player go for widespread melting and then Towering Glyph. And for the Astral Essence, Hupen is our main. But when we're at 30 point, you can get one Hoopen and then one of these. But it really depends. Or you can get, I think it's 2 of critical rate, critical hit rate, and then 2 of these. So it's like 30 point. To get to max of Hoopen, I think it's 39 or 40 point. Can't remember. I will update this also as the game release more content. So I don't think I miss out anything. If I miss out anything, just comment down below. I will try to tell you guys. And yeah, okay, that's it. Like and subscribe. If you guys have any question, comment down below. If I know the answer, I will reply you. And thank you all for watching. See you. Bye.